Back on Dailies today here in Nigeria. Info top of the morning to Lagos, Nigeria. 7:32 here. Welcome to the concluding part of Dailies today. We started at 6:15 this morning, taking through the big stories from the papers. And yes, your reactions to the headlines are still pouring in. We can still see them. At this juncture, I'd like to let you know that we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Please join. Let's know what you think about the headlines that we're about to bring to you. And please, when you're dropping your comments, make it straight to the point so we can take in other people's thoughts as well. I'm Sheriff Quadry, and nice to meet you. Let's start this round with the Business Day newspaper. There's this story here on page 2 of Business Day. Election petitions, what Nigeria can learn from Ghana, Kenya. Election petitions, what Nigeria can learn from Ghana, Kenya. That's on page 2. Let's take a look at that story, Lagos. Come with me, please. Election petitions in Nigeria take about 180 days from the date of filing the petition or to the day judgment is delivered. Some legal experts are of the opinion that there is need for a review of the constitutional provisions to ensure justice can be delivered timely and election matters are decided before the inauguration of newly elected officers. Citing examples from Ghana and Kenya, they said Nigeria may just be ripe for a constitutional amendment and reduce the time spent for election petitions. Section 285(6) of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, as amended, states that an election tribunal shall deliver its judgment in writing within 180 days from the date of the filing of the petition. The law further provides that an appeal from the decision of an election tribunal or court of appeal in an election matter shall be heard and disposed of within 60 days from the date of delivery of judgment of the tribunal or court of appeal. It starts with the filing of an election petition, section 285 sub 6 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria states that a petition shall be filed within 21 days after the date of the declaration of the result of elections. In Kenya, election petitions are determined within 14 days. 14 days after filing of the petition. Article 140 sub 2 of the 2010 Constitution of Kenya states that within 14 days after the filing of petition, the Supreme Court shall hear and determine the petition and its decision shall be final. Section 140 sub 1 of the Kenya Constitution also provides that a person may file a petition in the Supreme Court to challenge the election of the president-elect within 7 days after the date of the declaration of the results of the presidential election. Kenya held its general election in August 9, 2022. The election results were announced on August 15, 2022, and William Ruto was declared winner. Raila Odinga had 7 days from the day after the election results were declared, and he filed his petition August 22, 2022. As a result of the reform on the duration of election petition in Ghana, election petition proceedings took about 3 months in 2020, an improvement from the 8 months which the election petition took in 2012. According to Adedeji Adeyemi, a senior constitutional lawyer, it is not a bad idea that election petition cases are decided timely. He, however, said that in the interest of fair hearing, an important principle of natural justice, parties should be given, and that story continues on page 30. Business Day has the story, election petitions, what Nigeria can learn from Ghana, Kenya, page 2. You can continue reading on page 30. Business Day is where you'd find that story. I'm going to drop Business Day now. Let's go take the Punch. We have 3 stories waiting inside the Punch. We're going to start with this one on page 4 of the Punch. After then, we move to page 19 and page 20. So we are here on page 4 now. Police arrest 2 over OAU students' death. Police arrest 2 over OAU students' death. I would come and take your thought after the Punch headlines, okay? So 2 persons said to be the members of the Awoho executives have been arrested by the police following the death of a 500-level student of the Civil Engineering Department at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, Ahize Okoli. Okoli was reportedly beaten to death by a mob on suspicion that he stole a mobile phone. Sources on the campus said the student was accused of stealing a mobile phone in Awo Hall on Monday, and after he had been severely beaten, he was moved to the Students' Union building in the early hours of Tuesday, where he remained till around noon. It was further learned that because of the beating he received, Okoli's health deteriorated and he was rushed to the OAU Teaching Hospital Ileife, where he was confirmed dead Tuesday afternoon. The Osun State Police Command, while giving an update on the incident on Wednesday, described the two people detained as student leaders. The command spokesperson, Yemisin Okpalola, who spoke to journalists, said investigation into the incident will continue and justice will be served. We have arrested two student leaders in connection with the incident, end quote. That's on page 4 of the Punch newspaper. Police arrest 2 over OAU students' death. Let's move on quickly to page 19 of the Punch newspaper. We have a story on page 19 and another on page 20. Okay. FG to repay World Bank $800 million loan for 25 years. FG to repay World Bank $800 million loan for 25 years. The next administration after the regime of the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, will begin the repayment of the $800 million loan approved by the World Bank as subsidy palliatives. The Punch has learned. Last week, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, revealed to State House correspondents that the federal government had secured $800 million from the World Bank to provide post-petroleum subsidy palliatives for over 50 million Nigerians ahead of June 2023. The financing agreement document for the National Social Safety Net program, scale up between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the International Development Association of the World Bank, was obtained by the Punch on Tuesday. The objective of the project is to expand coverage of shock responsive safety net support among the poor and vulnerable, and strengthen Nigeria's national safety net delivery system till June 30, 2024. The document, signed by the Nigerian Finance Minister and the World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Shubham Chaudhry, on August 16, 2022, revealed that the loan was concessional financing. According to the World Bank, concessional finance is below market rate finance provided by major financial institutions such as development banks and multilateral funds to developing countries to accelerate development objectives. The $800 million loan obtained by the federal government attracts a maximum commitment charge rate of 1/2% per annum on the unwithdrawn financing balance and a service charge of 3/4% per annum on the withdrawn credit balance, according to the document. It also disclosed that the interest charge is 1.25% per annum on the withdrawn credit balance. Also, a percentage of the principal amount of the loan is expected alongside the other charges, and this will increase over time. Finance people would understand those terms. FG to repay World Bank $800 million loan for 25 years. Page 19 of the Punch newspaper, on the business and economy page of the Punch. Let's flip to page 20. After this story on page 20, I would come and start taking your thought. So this story here is tucked in just below the page here on page 20. Senate probes Accountant General over 74 billion naira social benefits funds. Senate probes Accountant General over 74 billion naira social benefits funds. The Senate has begun a probe of the accountant of the Federation for paying 74 billion naira as social benefits without giving a comprehensive breakdown in the 2016 budget. The Auditor General of the Federation in the 2016 report had raised concerns over the payment of 262.4 billion naira as social benefits against the 188 billion naira provided for in the budget, resulting in extra budgetary payment of 74 billion naira without a breakdown. The query read in part, and I quote, the total cost of social benefits amounted to 262.3 billion, whereas the budget amounts for the period was 188 billion as contained in the budget report, resulting in the extra budgetary expenditure of 74 billion. I'm still quoting. Quote, in addition, it was observed that there was no breakdown of the total social benefits cost of 262 billion dispersed to the different individual, which were stated for gratuity, pension and death benefits that make up social benefits. Now, when the representative of the Accountant General appeared before the Senate's Public Account Committee, chaired by Senator Matthew Rohide, to respond to the query, the Accountant General accepted the observations of the Auditor General. The committee observed that the Accountant General could not address the query. The committee, therefore, recommended to the Senate that the Accountant General should refund 74 billion naira in line with financial regulation. Refund, okay. So you can read further. It's a story that's just tucked in right there. This story it's on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. 3 stories taken from the Punch right away this morning. Now, let me come and take your reaction to this story. If you called earlier, please, let's allow those that didn't get through earlier to get through now, and so we can speak to them. If you're on social media, please drop your thought for me on social media so I can take your thought as well. 01 277 0993, 01 277 1993, 01 277 2993, and 01 2773 993. Female only line is 01 465 7190. You've got 60 seconds to share your thought with me. Thank you. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, please. Good morning to you.
This is I'm calling from Urulego.
Welcome.
My take this morning is on the collapsed building at Banana Island. Can I go ahead?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Sheriff, an agency that's supposed to be a monitoring agency that turns into revenue generating agency, their priority has changed. Therefore, the monitoring aspect will be lowered in order to make more money to get what you are looking for. These things continue to happen in Lagos because the people managing that industry, their priority and focus has changed. It is painful. Thank God there are no casualties in this one. But come to Orilegomo, come and see how buildings are springing up without permit. Because people are cutting corners. Why? Because the agency is more concerned about generating funds than doing their work. May God save Nigeria. Thank you and God bless us.
Thank you too for calling me. Appreciate it. I'm going to speak with AY now. Let's speak with him. AY, how are you doing?
Hey, Baba.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sharif, look, the $800 million, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they borrow $800 million for palliative for Nigeria? Look, Nigeria doesn't want them to give them money. Use that money to fix those refineries. Let those refineries work. Honestly, how I wish the president-elect should just give instruction that money should not be touched, because I know these people want to borrow this money and share this money among themselves. That is how those in government does. Like during Jonathan, they borrow money when they are going, and they share this money. Honestly, the president-elect should just give instruction that money, no one should touch that money. Honestly, thank you. Good morning, sir.
Morning to you too, AY. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Nigeria Info, good morning to you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Patrick Chinedu.
Welcome, Mr. Patrick.
First time caller.
Good to have you.
Always listening to you.
Good to have you.
I'm happy to be live on air.
Same here.
Yes, the Ikoyi building collapse once again.
Right.
It's appalling that things like this keep happening. Does it mean that our engineers are not certified or they are cutting corners? I think the government should look into this and let's try to stop this trend. It's just not normal.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chinedu. Thanks for calling me. Good morning to you. Good morning. It's dead silent. I can't hear a thing. The train coming back. Good morning to you. That call has dropped. Let's take another call. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Sherry.
Good morning to you.
This is Igwe Victor.
Let's talk.
It's about the 800 million naira palliative.
Dollars, yes.
If you look at the figure, it's just 200 million to be $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
That amount of money is pretty good enough for a country to build at least 3 refineries and they will work. Let alone rehabilitating the ones we have. How can we be talking about sharing money for what reason? You don't make people rich by giving them palliatives. Rather, you set up infrastructure that will better their lives. Although, like Pastor Ladipo just said, or the last caller, I think the essence of it is just to loot and loot and loot so that by the time the new one or the incoming government comes, they will still continue on the directionless and the visionless movement that we've seen ourselves in the last 8 years. Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Oh, right on time, right on time. Igwe Victor, thanks for calling me. Appreciate it. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Hello, Sheriff. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Emeka. I'm coming from Songo.
Welcome. Let's talk.
Yeah, my what I want to shed light on is based on the money for the refineries. Sheriff, if these our leaders have us in mind, they will look for ways to create job opportunities and infrastructure so that people that are not there like them can, in the process, make it, not giving us palliatives. The one way they give for COVID, where he did, maybe warehouse is spoiled. Sheriff, I'm tired, though. I'm very tired, I swear.
Don't be.
But anyhow, thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for calling me. Let's go to Skype and take Patrick. I didn't see Patrick. Hi, Mr. Patrick. Good morning to you.
Hello, Sheriff. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to talk about this Ikoyi building.
Okay.
The building collapse.
Right.
Yeah, well, you see, a lot of us we will talk and that's the end. But there are some key elements in this collapsing of houses. Number one is the quality and the strength of the iron rods in the market today. Their sizes, if you see what they call a 16 mm iron rod today, if you check it, it is less than 16 mm.
That's right.
So number two is even the wood that we use. Most woods that you buy in the market, if you go there, you say you need 2 by 4 inches plank. It's supposed to be 2 inches by 4 inches by 12 feet long. You will, in fact, you will celebrate if you find 10 feet. So now, if you pick the blocks, the quality of the blocks, you have more sand than cement. So now the quality of the materials that is being used is poor. So
I'm really sorry. I can't hear you again. The time is up. I'm really sorry. Yeah, do try and call me back. Okay, do try. 7:50 is the time. Let's take one more call. Then we go to Daily Trust. We have 2 stories waiting for us inside the Daily Trust newspaper. Good morning to you. Good morning. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Let me take another one. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, sir.
We thank God for another day.
Yes, please.
My name is Ambrose and
Welcome.
I live in Mowe.
Welcome, sir.
Sheriff, the other time, I listen to radio regularly. It's just that I don't call. The other time, you said we are owing 200 and every Nigerian is owing 217,000 naira. They want to borrow more. Now, the question I want to ask is, if our leaders, they know how to go abroad for treatment, they know how to go abroad for education, they should kukuma invite all these people from abroad now so that they can come and help us manage our economy, manage our electricity. They should hand over all of these things to them. It may sound foolish, but that's the truth. Because we have leaders that, very little thing, they go abroad and they have not been able to provide any solution. So what do? I think the best thing for them is let Kukuma allow these people to come and take over this economy.
Thank you.
And help us to fix it. Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose. Thanks for calling. Appreciate your time. Okay. Yeah, we know. Okay, let's go take Daily Trust newspaper now. Huh? Page 8 of Daily Trust is where we'll start from. IMF urges Nigeria to increase tax to cut borrowing. IMF urges Nigeria to increase tax to cut borrowing. Oh, sorry, that's on page 19. So let's head to page 19. We'll come back to page 8 much later on. So here we go with this story on page 19 of Daily Trust newspaper. The story reads, the International Monetary Fund IMF has called on the federal government of Nigeria, FGN, to reduce its debt by focusing on increasing the tax basket and compliance as a means of generating revenue to cut borrowing. The fund, in its latest fiscal monitor titled On the Path of Policy Normalization, released yesterday, noted that Nigeria debt is projecting to continue to rise and urged the government to remove fuel subsidies and direct them towards health and education. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, last week said Nigeria had secured a World Bank facility worth $800 million as the first tranche of palliatives to be dispersed through cash transfers to about 50 million Nigerians who belong to the most vulnerable category in the society to cushion effects for a planned removal of petrol subsidy by June. Yeah, but then the World Bank is advising for tax to be increased and more people to be brought into the nets. Let's move on to page 8 very quickly. 7:53, we've got no time left. Military shots Maiduguri juvenile sex brothels. Military shots Maiduguri juvenile sex brothels. The Nigerian military has raided Maiduguri underage brothels as Kaswanfara Shagari low-cost area of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. The shutting down of the brothels followed an exclusive report by the Daily Trust on Saturday exposing the illegal activities of the brothels. Residents of the area who contacted Daily Trust correspondent said some people were also arrested. The military raided the place 2 days ago. I'm quoting. The military raided the place 2 days ago and arrested some people. The whole place is now quiet. We don't know where they took the culprits to, said a resident, Halima Abdul. She said the raid and the subsequent patrols by the military in the area has changed the community to a serene environment for the residents. Let me quote this part, then I'll come back to telephone. Quote now. We suffered years of torment and misery, but with what we are seeing today, normalcy is setting in. End quote. The military shot Maiduguri juvenile sex brothels. Page 8 is where you'd find that story in the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's take a few more calls. We have about 5 more papers on the table. Good morning to you. Good morning. We can't hear you. I'm sorry. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, please.
Good morning. This is just Lokway on the line.
Welcome.
Please, I just want to ask a question because I have listened to your. Is it those short videos they used to play that said some people asked Nigerians to devalue our currency? Is IMF not part of those people? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is IMF not part of those people that said we should devalue our naira? Now they have come again. I think IMF and co are the problems we have in this country. How can they open their mouth over there to tell this government to increase tax? For what? And what kind of...
Calm down. Yeah, that's better. That's really better. I'm going to go to our live stream right now. Let's start with YouTube live stream. We're going to take some thoughts now on YouTube. Let's start from here. Blair Anya says, we still don't know the name of the developer for the building that collapsed in Oniru last year. The identity of the developer of this collapse one will also be hidden and we'll move on. Very unfortunate. Blair, thank you. Let's see. Gabriel says, the opportunity cost of borrowing for current expenditures means that you miss out on opportunities to invest in more profitable projects. I don't understand what is driving this loan decision. Gabriel, thank you. EJ on YouTube says the Lagos State government has come out to say no one died in the collapse yesterday, in the collapse building, yesterday. I hope and pray this is actually true and not the government trying to downplay the incident. And he also says out of the $800 million, $23.3 million is going to be paid out to consultants. That's EJ dropping that in there. Let me quickly take another thought from our live stream. Just hold on. Skype caller. I'll come to Skype in a moment. Oh, no, I can't. I'm sorry, Skype caller. Chinazo Onya says, one of the primary reasons in soil erosion, the constant onslaught of slowly erode the soil beneath the foundation of the house, weakening its support structure and leading to eventual collapse. That's Chinazo Onya. I guess he's also talking about the collapsed building at Banana Island yesterday. Lagos, this is where we'll leave it. We have 5 more newspapers that we couldn't take this morning. Apologies for that. It's just that we had some big stories that I needed to read the stories for proper context, so we understand them. Okay, but Dailies today will make a return tomorrow at 8. At 7:30 rather, for the second part. So good morning to you, Lagos. Thank you for being a part of today's show. Next is Health Thursday. I'll be back in a moment.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those. Those that need to be fired are fired. It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.